what's so funny about it is that it is ridiculous when they were getting into it. You know, it was fun to watch, but I too was annoyed that they just kept going back and forth about whether or not they're progressive, who's establishment and who isn't, because, I mean, I thought Hillary did make a good point in saying that, you know, it's kind of tough to call a person who would be the first woman president to be typical of the establishment, even though that's not exactly the context Bernie was talking in. It's still a fair point. And so
I disagree.
I disagree.
Okay, but I still
for that one.
Okay, which is amazing because, you know, again, Democrats usually seem to care quite a bit about sexism and identity politics until all of a sudden there's a question. Well, I don't know if we shouldn't or not. Identity does tend to matter. I mean, all politics has been identity politics for, you know, I think since, Kennedy? Well, I mean, of course it shouldn't, but, you know, we're not talking about we're not going to a war with the army we want, we're going to the polls with the army we have.
Josh, we were talking about how Obama was lucky to benefit from the identity politics, but less likely that Clinton would be able to, you know, benefit from something like that this time.
I mean,
and that's the thing, and that's the other thing too. It's just that, you know, people say, "Oh, she's playing the gender card," and you can't play a card unless it's in your hand. Is sort of my point, and so I think that is. In terms of talking progressivism, I think that is an important distinction. Because here's the thing. The female version of Bernie Sanders, Senator Elizabeth Warren, to be reductive and shitty about it, it has only been in politics, since 2010, was it, that she got elected, or 2012?
Later, 2012.
Either way, not very long. Hillary's been in the shit since 1990. So yeah, she kind of had to be a political chameleon. You know, it's funny. She's only survived as long as she has because of all the things she's
in the 60s.
She absolutely was a Goldwater girl.
Yeah.
But like a campaign volunteer in college. But either way, my point is that. Go ahead, Peter. Yeah, I've been monopolizing.
I'm sorry. I want to go back to this idea of establishment because, you know, you have to look at the total group of issues and monikers that call someone an establishment person. First of all, 50% of everybody is a woman. It's pretty darn hard to keep playing to that, especially in 2016, as, you know, something so unique. Women have run for president. Women have been vice presidential candidates. You know, for a large portion of the electorate, including a lot of people Hillary thought were going to support her, they seem to be way over the fact that she was born with different plumbing than Bernie Sanders. So I think she's played that as far as it's going to go, and it hasn't gone very far. Second, I mean, in terms of establishment, let's look at what really speaks to that. Her funding comes primarily from the establishment, capital D, capital establishment. She received more funding from Wall Street than any other candidate, including the Republicans. She has never held a paying job since, the 80s? A non-public job, I should say. She has gone from one government or quasi-government position to the other, to the other, to the other. She has proven herself to
unlike Bernie Sanders. You're completely correct there. I mean, Bernie Sanders hasn't spent 30, 40 years in politics.
Yeah, Bernie at least has been elected to all of his positions. Hillary got elected once. She got the others either for marrying Bill or as a consolation prize for letting Obama take over in 2008. So I'm not quite sure if I could put their two records side by side. Hillary went to Yale. Hillary worked as a government lawyer. Hillary is supported by the big business, big pharma. Hillary gets money from Goldman Sachs. Hillary has changed her position every time somebody farts if she thinks it's to her advantage. You know, I think it's very, very difficult for her to say, I'm not establishment simply because I have a vagina.